We don't start life labeled. We learn labels along the way. Somewhere between childhood and adulthood, we are taught that there's a right way to be, a right way to talk, a right way to express, a right way to ask, a right way to behave. And most of us don't even question this. We quietly learn what's acceptable. If you fit into this right way, you move through the world with very little friction. If you don't, you get noticed. And once you get noticed, you are named. Too sensitive, too moody, too unpredictable, too stubborn, too much. These aren't just random phrases, they stick. They shape how you see yourself and how gradually people start seeing you. And here's the quiet part. Most of us do not remember the first time we were labeled, but we remember how it felt. Because once a mind is named, it gets very little room. It gets judged over and over again, long before it's ever understood. And I am also someone who has been on the receiving end of such labels. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly and gradually over time. I am just one example of what happens when a mind that works differently grows up in a world that expects you to be normal. We live in a world built on averages, average attention, average productivity, average emotional response. Just think about it. In meetings, there's just one person who talks too much and is always hopping from one idea to another. We call this person a scattered person. Then there's another one who is processing everything quietly, trying to jot down everything that is being discussed. This person is called a disengaged person. In relationships, there's this one person who talks too much, asks too many questions, needs constant validation. We call this person needy and desperate. On the other hand, the other person eventually gets quiet when overwhelmed. This person we label as the cold person. Same situation, different nervous systems. Both of them misunderstood. Let me paint a few familiar scenes in front of you right now. There's a person sitting in the car before work, taking a deep breath and rehearsing how to look normal for the next 8 hours. There's another person staring at the same page for hours, trying to focus while everybody else has moved on. These countless situations are happening all around us. But instead of asking what someone might be carrying, we simplify. We call them careless and difficult. And somewhere in this simplification, we stop seeing people altogether. Now, let me share a story of a girl here who has spent most of her life feeling out of place. On paper, she was doing absolutely right. She excelled in academics, she aced her engineering, she even got a campus placement. Everything from the outside looked perfectly fine, but inside, her mind rarely rested. There were multiple nights without sleep. Her body was exhausted. Her mind never rested. Thoughts wouldn't simply slow down. She showed up anyway, to classrooms, to offices, to expectations. People around her called her crazy. They said that she is different and that she needs to try harder. But it wasn't about effort. Her mind simply operated at an intensity that the world around her did not know how to hold. She wasn't failing at life. She was simply surviving in the spaces that did not recognize how she was built. So she found her own ways to cope, her own rhythms, her own shortcuts through the hard days. She tried different things that were never taught in the classrooms. She made mistakes, she experimented different things, and she learned by doing. At first, people mocked her. They said that you are being unnecessary and impractical. But over time, something interesting happened. The same approach that once seemed strange now started solving problems. The ideas that did not fit the standard templates earlier now began opening new possibilities. Whatever was called weird earlier became wonderful now. This happened not because she changed how she was, but because she learned how to work with how she was. So, this story isn't rare. Versions of it are unfolding everywhere in the classrooms, in the offices, in homes. People adjust, they find ways to cope, and they keep showing up. From the outside, this might look inconsistent. From inside, this is a constant effort. Imagine if we built every pair of shoes in this world in a single size. A lot of people would walk throughout their lives limping. A lot of would struggle to fit into that pair of shoes, while others may get incredible balance. And there would be some who would be told that there's something wrong with your feet. The problem was never the shoe. It was an assumption that one size should fit all. That is how we have treated minds, not because we are cruel, but because we have standardized. We have designed schools, colleges, workplaces around an average brain and then judged everyone who did not fit that mold. So maybe we are asking the wrong question. Instead of asking what's wrong with this person, what if we asked what environment does this mind needs to work at its optimal best? This single shift from correction to curiosity changes everything. And more importantly, it changes how we speak to our own selves when we don't fit. Imagine a manager pauses and thinks, maybe my employee isn't difficult, but my workplace needs more flexibility. Imagine a parent or a teacher ask, maybe my child doesn't need fixing, they need a better learning environment. Maybe a friend or a partner pause and realize that the other person isn't overreacting, they are just in a difficult situation. And today, someone in this room might finally pause and think, maybe I am not broken yet, it's just that I'm not in the right environment. We do not need fewer misfits in this world. We need fewer assumptions about what normal looks like. People we label too much are the ones who are actually doing the deepest work. So the next time you ask somebody, what's wrong with you? Pause and ask a better question. Ask, what might this mind build to do differently? Because the misfits aren't broken. They are just built differently. And the world does not need fixing minds. It needs better understanding of them. Because some minds don't fit the world as it is, not because they are flawed, but because they are here to change the world. Thank you so much.